Hello and welcome to another video from Education Hub. Today I'm going to talk about the IELTS essay in relation to outlining. Many students don't think that it is important. However, today I want to discuss with you why you should outline. Let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the importance of outlining. There are various benefits of outlining your IELTS essay before you begin writing. The first one, it forces you to understand the question. Paraphrasing the question and writing the purpose of your essay, for example a thesis statement, will help you be very clear about what the question is asking you to do. Number two, it gives your essay organization and balance. By providing a thesis statement, you are, in essence, already organizing your essay. Number three, it allows you to focus on the grammar when you are writing. If you concentrate on ideas first, you can then be more conscious of the grammar you are using. Many students are trying to juggle the many different aspects of writing at the same time, which would be understanding the question, coming up with ideas, thinking about the organization, then thinking about the vocabulary, and thinking about the grammar. There are so many different variables to consider at one time, which makes it far more complicated than it needs to be. Secondly, what to include. We need to write down what you think the question means in your own words. Misunderstanding the question or leaving out an essential element is a big problem. For example, if you are missing out part of the question or you've misunderstood the question, the highest band score you're going to get for task response is a band 5. So it's very important to understand the question. And by writing down what you think it means or paraphrasing it, you've got a much better chance of understanding what the question is asking you. Secondly, you should think about the question type and plan accordingly. There are different types of essays that IELTS questions are asking you to look at. We will look at this in a further video. But basically, when you see words such as advantages, disadvantages, problems, solutions, to what extent do you agree or disagree, you can plan your introduction and your thesis statement accordingly based on the type of question it is that you are looking at. Number three, always include key vocabulary in your outline. Another thing I think people miss out is they think that the outline is only about ideas. I would say that the outline should also include key vocabulary, especially if you're looking for Band 6 or higher. Especially in Band 7 and Band 8, you need to have subject-specific or thematic vocabulary throughout your response. By noting them down beforehand, there is far more chance that you will be using this vocabulary in your response. Next, it's very important to practice outlines before you go in. Time is your worst enemy in IELTS, so having ways to maximize your time will provide you with better results. Outlining may seem like a waste of time to some of you, but it can save time if you do it right. Again, spending time outlining your response, it may take 5 to 10 minutes, but by doing it, you are maximizing your chance to get a better grade and to have a more balanced response. Things to include. As we're all aware, an essay has essentially 3 parts. You must have an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. By taking some notes before you begin on what you want to include in which part of the essay, this will help keep you on track. So for example, in an introduction, it's important to have general background. This can be taken from the question itself, which would be the topic. Secondly, you need to include a thesis statement, which is the purpose of your writing, why you are writing the essay. Next, the body paragraphs. Now in IELTS, as there are only 250 words, 2 body paragraphs is sufficient. For the body paragraphs, I think it's a good idea to note down the topic sentence, which will be the most general sentence, and the controlling sentence of the paragraph. Next, writing down the controlling ideas, which would be the main ideas that you plan on discussing in these body paragraphs. And finally, some notes on your examples and explanations of these examples. Again, this doesn't have to be in huge detail, but it's just there to keep you on track. And finally, in the conclusion, it's quite important to summarize the thesis but not repeat it. Repetition is one of the enemies of the IELTS candidate, so you want to be very careful of not repeating what you've written earlier in the essay. So we paraphrase or summarize the thesis, and some techniques that people use in a conclusion is to offer personal opinion, and in a lot of the questions you are expected to offer personal opinion, and this can be in the form of offering a suggestion or a prediction. Again, this doesn't have to be in huge detail, but this will help you organize your idea. General tips. Number 1, practice writing from an outline. Even to begin with, if the outline takes you 20 minutes or 30 minutes, if you can write a decent outline and then you're able to write a 250 to 270 word essay based on this outline that doesn't deviate too much from the outline, then you're getting the idea. With more practice, you can start narrowing the time down. Number 2, find a format that works for you. There are different types of formats for outlining. Some people like to write a list, other people like to use cluster diagrams. There are many different ways of doing it. Again, this is up to the individual. Number 3, include vocabulary in your outline. I would say always include vocabulary in your outline. If you've been training for IELTS before you take the test, I'm sure that you've already noticed that IELTS is a thematic test, which means that there are particular themes that are already developed. If you've learned vocabulary and collocations that relate to a particular theme, then as soon as you see the question, this vocabulary should come to the forefront of your mind and you should be able to take notes on it. Number 4, don't worry about spending up to 10 minutes on an outline. If the outline is well organized and detailed, then the essay should be also. Some people say, well, 10 minutes is far too long, I've only got 40 minutes to write the essay. But if the outline is very well detailed and you've done all the thinking already, then really what you're going to be thinking about when you are writing the essay is the grammar involved in doing this. Final words. Finally, I'd like to say Education Hub wishes you success for the future, and for any more lessons, please go to educationhub.net.au. Thank you for your time.